In this lecture, I would like to discuss about the new topic. The name of the topic it is phase equilibria. We aware about chemical equilibria. Chemical equilibrium is a dynamic stage at which the rate of the forward reaction becomes equal to the rate of the reverse reaction. So equilibrium is attained in a chemical reaction. Now we are talking about phase equilibria. So phase, solid phase, liquid phase, gaseous phase. Now how there is a equilibria in number of phases. Phase equilibria means a single component is in equilibrium between number of phases. A single component is in equilibrium between number of phases. Let us consider the example of water molecule. So water is existing in three phases: solid water, that is ice. It is in equilibrium with liquid water, and it is in equilibrium with vapor water. So a single component water, it is in equilibrium between number of phases: solid phase, liquid phase, and gaseous phase or vapor phase. Now Willard Gibbs, an American physicist, derived a phase rule to study the effect of pressure, temperature, and composition on the heterogeneous system. You can see this is now the heterogeneous system. The three phases are existing at a time: solid, liquid, and vapor phase. So it means that a system is heterogeneous system. So for such heterogeneous system, Willard Gibbs has given a phase rule, and that phase rule, it is also called as a Gibbs phase rule. So he has given the rule to study the effect of pressure, temperature, and composition on the heterogeneous system. What will be the effect of the temperature onto this system? As the temperature will be changes, solid phase may be converted to the liquid, liquid may be converted to the vapor. So for a heterogeneous system, he has given the phase rule. So the Gibbs phase rule states that the equilibrium of a heterogeneous system is not affected by gravity or magnetic or electrical forces. If the equilibrium of heterogeneous system is not affected by such things, then the number of degree of the freedom F, number of the degree of the freedom F is related to the number of component C and number of phases P by the relation, and that relation, it is F, it is equal to C minus P plus 2, where F, it is the degree of freedom, C is the number of component, and P is the number of phases. So this is the mathematical expression of the Gibbs phase rule. The degree of the freedom becomes equal to C minus P plus 2. So this phase rule can be applicable to a heterogeneous system where number of phases are existing. Now let us going to be discuss the various terms involved in this equation. So first term, it is a phase. In the Gibbs phase rule, the first term, let us discuss about this. What is a phase? What do you mean by a phase? It is denoted by P. So a phase is defined as a homogeneous, physically distinct, and mechanically separable part of a heterogeneous system. a phase is defined as a homogeneous. Suppose that in a beaker we have taken water, only one phase is there, liquid water. So it is homogeneous, and on the same time it is physically distinct. Now if we are taking the two phases, suppose that if we are adding a clay into the water, clay gets settled down, we are getting two phases here, solid phase and liquid water, and that phase it is mechanically separable. We can separate. How we can separate? Mechanically separable means each phase can be separated. If there are two phases into the system, if there are three phases into the system, because that phases are physically distinct, so they can be separated by simple way: filtration, decantation, hand picking. So these separation methods can be applicable to separate the number of the phases. Now let us consider the example of a phase. Now liquid water, it is an example of a phase. So P equal to 1 here. Now a mixture of two or more gases is considered as a single phase. Suppose that mixture of nitrogen and oxygen gas. Mixture of nitrogen and oxygen gas. It will constitute only one phase, because gases are miscible to each other. So there is only one phase for this. Even though two nitrogen is there, oxygen is there. So it is a one phase system, mixture of gases. See the another example, a mixture of two or more completely miscible liquids. The liquids which are completely miscible. A mixture of two or more completely miscible liquids. For example, when we are adding alcohol into the water or water into the alcohol, they are completely miscible. We cannot see the number of phases there. Only one phase is there. So it is a one phase system. Okay. Another example, a mixture of two immiscible liquids such as water and carbon tetrachloride. Suppose in a beaker, if we have taken a water and we are adding a carbon tetrachloride. Okay. In a beaker, let us take a water, and in that water we have to add a carbon tetrachloride, CCl4. So what happens here? There are two phases are seen. The separate phase of carbon tetrachloride and water. They are not miscible. They are completely immiscible. Okay. So two phases are there. The carbon tetrachloride, it is not miscible with water. You can take another example. Mixture of water and kerosene. Kerosene is a hydrocarbon. So there are two phases. Then a mixture of two or more solids consists of many phases. So thus in this way we can take number of examples here related to the phase. So what is a phase? Phase is a homogeneous, physically distinct and mechanically separable part of a heterogeneous system. Now let us going to discuss the second term in the phase rule, that is number of components. Number of components, it is denoted by the letter C. Number of components. So what do you mean by number of components? In the phase rule that we have written, F is equal to C minus P plus 2. So we have discussed this first term. Now let us going to be discuss the second term, number of components, C. It is the minimum number of independently variable constituents by means of which the composition of each phase can be expressed in the form of the equation. Now suppose in that heterogeneous system, number of constituents are existing, but that total number of constituents are not equal to the number of components. So what is the number of components? It is the minimum number of independently variable constituents, by means of which the composition of each phase can be expressed in the form of the equation. We have to express the composition of each phase with the help of that components. The term component does not mean constituent. Constituent means it is total number, and component it is the minimum number. So to express the composition of each phase, generally 0 and negative values of components are permitted. Okay, let us take the example. Water system, it is a very famous system. So water system, suppose that there are 3 phases. So we can write ice, it is in equilibrium with water, it is in equilibrium with vapor. At a time 3 phases are existing. The system, it is a heterogeneous system, or the same can be written here. Ice, water and vapor are in equilibrium. So what are the number of the components? Each phase can be expressed by H2O. Only one chemical constituent, H2O. Hence, water system is a one component system. Number of components equal to in the water system, heterogeneous system, only one. See, it is equal to 1. For water system, number of components becomes equal to 1. Then let us take the second example, decomposition of calcium carbonate. Decomposition of calcium carbonate. The decomposition of calcium carbonate will be expressed in this way. You can see here the decomposition of the calcium carbonate. It gives calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. When we are providing the heat to the calcium carbonate, suppose that in a test tube, if you have taken calcium carbonate solid, then that calcium carbonate solid, it is, we have to supply the heat to this. So it is converted. To calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Or if in a crucible we have taken this calcium carbonate, in a crucible, let us take some quantity of the calcium carbonate here and supply the heat here to this crucible. Okay, what happens? Carbon dioxide get expelled out, CO2 is given out, and calcium oxide is remains there. So it means calcium carbonate is converted to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So in the above system, there are 3 phases. You can see 3 phases are there, 2 solid phase and 1 gas phase. Now this system, it is a 2 component system, because to express the composition of each phase, we require only 2 components. Consider this calcium carbonate, this phase. So it can be written by calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. That is calcium carbonate, it is equal to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So this phase can be written by taking the 2 components, calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So C, it is equal to 2 here, 1 plus 1. Similarly, we can write calcium oxide solid phase. It is equal to calcium carbonate minus carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is one phase, this is one phase, this is one constituent, this is one constituent. Number of the components are equal to 3, equal to 2. So thus, to write the composition of each phase, we require only 2 components. So even though the system consisting of 3 constituents, but the number of the components becomes equal to 2. Now let us take the another example to find out the number of the components. Decomposition of ammonium chloride solid. In place of calcium carbonate here, if we take ammonium chloride, what happens? Ammonium chloride is converted to, by supplying the heat, ammonium chloride is converted to ammonia gas and HCl gas. So how many components into this system? We observe that ammonium chloride, it is a one constituent, NH3 it is a second constituent, HCl is a third constituent. The system will consisting of 3 constituents. But what is the number of components? So let us consider the gas phase, NH3 plus HCl. This is the mixture of gases. It will form only one phase. So NH3 plus HCl, it is equal to ammonium chloride. So, or NH4Cl becomes equal to NH3 plus HCl. To write this phase, ammonium chloride, so we NH3 plus HCl. So it is in the gas phase. So number of components becomes equal to 1 here. C, it is equal to 1. So to express the composition of each phase, we require only one component here. To write this gas phase, it is sufficient by NH4Cl, because chemical equation NH3 plus HCl, it is equal to NH4Cl. Hence, in this case, number of components becomes equal to 1. Okay. Now let us going to discuss the third term of the phase rule, that is degree of freedom. Degree of freedom. So what is a degree of freedom? Let us going to discuss this. We have already completed 2 terms, phase and number of components of the heterogeneous system. So what is a degree of freedom? F. It is the minimum number of independently variable factors such as pressure, temperature and composition, which must be specified in order to define the system completely at equilibrium. So to define the system at equilibrium, we require minimum number of independently variable factors. Suppose that if we have taken a water in a beaker, only one phase is there. Only one phase is there, liquid water. So in order to define this system, we require variable factors. Okay. So in this case, we require pressure P as well as temperature T. At particular temperature and particular pressure, the water is existing into the liquid state. So therefore, number of degrees of the freedom becomes equal to 2. Minimum 2 factors can be applicable here. So number of degree of the freedom becomes equal to 2 here. So the degree of the freedom is the minimum number of independently variable factors such as pressure, temperature and concentration, which must be specified in order to define the system. You can take another example. Consider a one component system existing in one single phase. Suppose that a pure gas nitrogen we have taken in a cylinder. Okay, so phase becomes equal to 1, P equal to 1. C is also equal to 1, nitrogen gas is there. So we can write here F it is equal to C minus P, 1 minus 1 plus 2. So minimum we require here two variables, f is equal to 2 for this system. So in order to define the system, we require here two variables, pressure as well as temperature. Out of these three, minimum we require two. Thus the system has a 2 degree of freedom. The system has a 2 degree of freedom. Let us take the another example. Suppose that liquid water, it is in equilibrium with vapor water. Liquid water, it is in equilibrium with vapor water. Two phases are there. In a beaker, liquid water is there. Okay. And vapor water is also there. Suppose at some temperature, the liquid water converted to the vapor water. So this is vapor water and this is liquid water. And these two phases are in equilibrium with each other. Two phases are in equilibrium with each other. Now by using the phase rule also we can find out the degree of the freedom. Water is a one component system. So C it is equal to 1. Two phases are here, P equal to 2. So degree of the freedom becomes equal to 1. Means only one variable should be required to us in order to define the system. It means simply by increasing the temperature, liquid water is converted to the vapor water. So in this way, we have discussed here the degree of the freedom. It is the minimum number of independently variable factors such as pressure, temperature, and composition, which must be specified in order to define the system at equilibrium. It means to define the system at equilibrium, we require the variable factors. And without that factors, we cannot define the system. Water remains into the liquid state because we require two variables, pressure as well as temperature. Then if there are two phases are in equilibrium, then we require only one variable, that is either temperature or either pressure. So just by heating, it is converted to the vapor state. So two phases are there. So in this way, we discuss the phase rule and the terms involved in the phase rule. The terms involved in the phase rule. Once again, I recapitulate this. What is a phase rule? So Willard-Gibbs states that provided the equilibrium of a heterogeneous system is not affected by gravity or magnetic or electrical forces, the number of the degrees of the freedom is related to the number of the components C and number of the phases P by the relation F is equal to C minus P plus 2. So there are three terms are involved in the phase rule: phase, number of components, and degree of freedom. So phase is a homogeneous, physically distinct and mechanically separable part of the heterogeneous system. You can take the example of the river water. There is a liquid water, one phase is there. Then mixture of alcohol and water, even the two constituents are there, but only one phase is there. Mixture of two or more gases, it is also considered as a one phase system. Okay, so we know what is a phase. What is a phase? Then number of components. It is the minimum number of independently variable constituents by means of which the composition of each phase can be expressed in the form of the equation. Suppose in a heterogeneous system, number of constituents are greater in number, but number of components are lesser in number. With the help of that number of components, we should have to write the chemical reaction. You can see here, the liquid water, it is in equilibrium in the three phases. So in each phase, H2O is there. One chemical constituent is there. So number of components becomes equal to 1. So this is about number of components. Then degree of the freedom. It is the minimum number of independently variable factors. such as pressure, temperature, and concentration, which must be specified in order to define the system at equilibrium. To define the system at equilibrium, we require such type of the variables, and that variables are pressure, temperature, and concentration. That variables are pressure, temperature, and concentration.